Hello and welcome. We're out in the living room again doing another having a chat, and this time we're talking about the Monsterverse, specifically what is going to happen after Godzilla versus King Kong. I guess just to get the ball rolling, we're just going to start off with a genuine kind of prediction or like predictions, what we think is going to happen in Godzilla versus Kong, and then what we think the next movie will be, or movies if you want to go that far. After that, we're going to get into what we would like be a dream scenario for us, which doesn't necessarily have to be realistic. Like we could at that point be like, oh, I want to see fucking Reptilicus in there and the mighty Gorga. Like, let's get some crazy fucking monsters in there if we so desire.
Yeah.
But the first part is purely predictions.
Yeah.
So I guess let's start with Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yep.
I'll give a minor spoiler warning because there have been some leaks. I avoid them like the plague, but there have been two in particular that I've seen, and they're the toy releases.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed to see this. I've said this several times on this channel. I hate spoilers, and I would have liked to have not known anything. I don't even really watch trailers. I watch maybe the first official, and that's it.
Yeah.
But spoiler warning. So we know that Mechagodzilla is going to be in the movie. And we know that there's going to be the other Titans and some newer Titans that are, not traditional monsters. So, what do you think, Dakota? What is your prediction?
Well, even before the toy releases came out, I think I kind of just had the same of the most popular theory out there, where it's gonna have a whole King Kong, Godzilla. They'll have a conflict for whatever reason, but then it won't necessarily have a conclusion, like a decisive conclusion. It'll get interrupted by a bigger, larger threat that they will have to inevitably team up to defeat, which I believed at the time with the end credits trailer scene from King of the Monsters was Mechagodzilla. Not Mechagodzilla, Mecha King Ghidorah. Because, with another spoiler warning, I guess, with King Ghidorah's head after being killed, being found by fucking Charles Dance, I think that's his name in real life.
The eco-terrorists.
Yeah, the eco-terrorists. So that was my pretty immediate prediction, was fight for whatever reason, probably a territorial thing, because they've really been hammering home it's like all about nature in this universe. And then fucking eco-terrorists will bring out Mecha King Ghidorah, and then they'll have to fight him. That's been mine.
Yeah. We're pretty much in the exact same boat. I have a feeling that I'm not so certain that there won't be like an actual winner between Godzilla and Kong. I think there's actually a pretty solid chance that Godzilla and Kong will actually have a victor, and then maybe like they'll still end up teaming up to fight the bigger threat. But I have a hunch that there's going to be an actual winner in this one, because I don't know. I think that would make some sense. I kind of have there's this one toy floating around that I saw that has like Godzilla with like mods on him, like Godzilla himself is mechanized a bit. I'm fairly certain that's just going to be a toy. If that's in the movie, fine, see how it works. But I'm fairly certain that's going to be a toy. But I have kind of a hunch that, like, I don't know, like, I want to say that Godzilla would be the winner, and then, like, Mecha King Ghidorah would come in and even maybe Mecha Godzilla would come in and beat Godzilla's ass, and then King Kong would reluctantly rejoin the fight, and then they would have, like, their Velociraptor T-Rex moment of understanding from Jurassic World moment at the end. So I guess our opinions there aren't totally different. Pretty much the same.
Only variation is I think there won't be a decisive victor between the initial fight, whereas you think there might actually be a clear victor.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance there might be. So let's get into what we predict the next movie or two will be. And I'll let you take the lead.
Okay. As for predictions, I'm not entirely sure. I picture the movie going where, like I said, they team up against whatever mechanized version of a monster is, because I believe the next film's probably going to have a real nature versus like machine kind of man-made sort of theme to fit in with the rest of like how everything's about nature and their like old kings of the universe and everything. So I think after that they defeat the mechanized evil, and then I can only really picture from there maybe something that like we kind of have like a minor destroy all monsters thing with like all the other like smaller, less notable titans, because they sort of follow Godzilla at the end of King of the Monsters and bow down. And so I can only imagine maybe something there where we'll have like a huge clash with like Kong, like maybe some like more giant monsters from Skull Island will pop out, some more of the Titans will clash. Maybe there'll just be like some sort of giant territorial war or something similar to King of the Monsters. And then I imagine the military will step in with Mechagodzilla, or maybe Mechagodzilla 2. There's been a few variations, so I imagine that'll be the same case with this universe. But yeah, with actual predictions, that's about as far as I can logically think would go from there. I don't have a more of a concrete idea of what I think was going to happen next.
I guess mine's a little bit more concrete than... I kind of think that, assuming both Godzilla and Kong live, I think that it's likely that we'll get another King Kong movie, maybe one that's a little bit closer to a remake where they take Kong back to civilization, and not necessarily like it'll be like a film crew like a remake. I don't think that'll happen, but I think there's a good chance that in both Kong vs. Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Kong, I think there's a good chance we'll see another Kong film, because Kong movies do well. Americans love King Kong.
Yep.
And then I don't know if we'll see another solo Godzilla movie. I think after another Kong film, I think there's a good chance that we'll get like a Monsterverse Titans movie, like maybe like a pseudo team up film where it's focused on the other monsters, because I feel like there's a good chance that if the Monsterverse is going to continue, they're not going to want to rely on intellectual properties owned by other people, and they might want to start kind of building their own homegrown monsters and do their own thing with some of their own monsters. So I don't know if it would be they pick one in particular and run with that, like pick like Methasula, I think he's called, or Amudo, and then just do like Amudo or Methasula or whatever movie. I think that like they might do a team up, but I'm not really sure. So I think, yeah, like a Titan that is like a homegrown Titan movie, I think is possible. And then I think because they alluded to it in Godzilla King of the Monsters, that King Ghidorah is from space, I think that, like you said, a Destroy All Monsters movie is quite possible. But instead of having it be like nature versus the military, I think an alien invader is inevitable. Whether that's like a Gigan or a Space Godzilla, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that we're going to get an alien invasion movie where all the monsters team up to fight this new alien invader. Maybe like a Kaiser King Ghidorah type situation, or maybe Gigan, as I already said. I would love to see Space Godzilla, though I can't imagine how they would make that work. There's rumors that the Hollow Earth is going to play an even bigger role in Kong versus Godzilla, and we know that from the original Godzilla series that it's the Seatopians, which were basically Hollow Earth people, had teamed up with space aliens before. So that's what I think. I think we'll get another Kong movie, maybe a solo or team up original homegrown monster movie, like some other Titans, and then we'll get another final team up movie. And then I can't even imagine where we'd go from there. Maybe a third Godzilla standalone film or not. I don't know. Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah.
And then I guess dream predictions. So let's just keep this one a little bit shorter, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, let's just pick one dream movie that you'd like to see specifically made by Legendary.
Okay.
I'll say at this point, though, that there is a lot of talk of Toho doing a reboot series. We're strictly talking about Legendary here, because I think it goes without saying that we're both extremely hyped for a potential Toho-made Godzilla franchise, monster kaiju franchise. We're just talking about Legendary here and what we'd like to see from them. So I'll let you take it away again.
Okay. My kind of like dream where I'm not quite as confident it could happen is actually one of the points you brought up in your prediction, where my dream prediction would be to lean into the more kind of alien kind of aspect of Godzilla. Like they obviously said in the last one that King Ghidorah was a invader, but he was just kind of like a creature that found a home to rule over on Earth. Whereas I'm kind of hoping in my dream, in my mind, that they would lean more heavily into the aliens, like, because originally King Ghidorah, I believe, was a weapon built by a bunch of little humanoid alien people. I think
Well,
is his origin.
he was he's got a couple of different origins because
Yeah.
in the second Godzilla series, the Heisei series, he's like from the future and he's like this little thing called a Dorat that got fused together to
Right.
make King Ghidorah. In
Right.
the original series, he comes from Planet X,
Yeah.
and in the newest series, or in like the Millennium series, he was like a guardian, like in GMK.
Yeah.
And then in Final Wars, he came from space,
Yeah.
and like he has a bunch of different, slightly different origins.
Yeah. So I'd like to just kind of see that lean into more like, I guess maybe a little more like the campier kind of side of Godzilla, but take it and legendaryify it to make it a little less goofy for modern audiences. Like I'd love to see fucking, I don't know, even Megalon show up somehow.
That'd be cool.
That'd be great. Like Space Godzilla, like you said, I can't really see how he would play into it, but if he could, that'd be great. I'd love to see what he would look like in a new redesign. Even fucking if they squeezed in Jet Jaguar or like an Ultraman kind of figure in there, that'd be awesome. But yeah, that's just kind of mine. Lean into the more kind of spacey, kind of, I guess, more out there elements of the earlier Godzilla franchise and just kind of bring it into a modern light so it's not quite goofy and more, modern taste.
I could get down with that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Godzilla, some variation of Godzilla vs. Gamera, King Kong vs. Godzilla vs. Gamera,
Yeah.
or something like that. I wanted to get Gamera in there,
Yeah.
but I think that's too easy.
Yeah.
So I decided to get a little bit weirder with my prediction. I want to see an adaptation of Godzilla versus Charles Barkley.
Okay. Okay.
I want to see, and in his current age too. I don't want them to de-age him or cast somebody to play Charles Barkley. I want Godzilla. Here's how it's going to happen, all right? At the end of King Kong versus Godzilla, they'd be like, wow, Godzilla survived that. Who could possibly defeat him now?
Pure ball dribbling.
Well, no, the credits roll.
Yeah.
Then there's a post-credit scene, and it comes in, and it's the back of Charles Barkley's jersey. His number isn't, but says Barkley, and he stands there, and then he turns profile and says, "Groovy." Just straight from the Evil Dead remake post-credit scene, or whatever Charles Barkley says, and then the next movie is Godzilla versus Barkley, and the military or the eco-terrorists are like, wow, shit, all right, last resort, we got this magic coin. Like in the comic book, we got this magic coin that we got, and we need somebody to battle Godzilla. Who is Earth's greatest warrior?
Clearly Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley. So they got Charles Barkley to put the coin in his mouth, and then he battles Godzilla.
I'd be into it.